I was sweaty and wet. I got all these clothes on. So the trail wasn't marked very well, so we were like going back and forth because we didn't know if it was...
Yeah, we saw that on the tracker.
There's no reflectors.
The Iditarod finishes with the final musher meeting the burled arch. We take a look at the challenges and perseverance.
And what remains of a fin whale heading to a Wasilla Museum. What we know about the process so far.
Plus, our special Alaskan Olympians return. We welcome them home and look at their accomplishments on the big stage.
And the storms are lining up. I'll let you know how much more snow to expect this week.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Well, this year's Iditarod is in the books. It had its share of the hardships, but also its heroics.
Now, the final musher crossed the finish line, and now it's time for everyone to celebrate and to reflect. Georgina Fernandez has the story.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Miles of untouched, pristine terrain.
All right, let's hit the Iditarod trail.
It all comes down to an end for this year's race on Monday. Following rookie Ibi Peterson.
There you go, Ed.
Crossing the Burled Arch early Monday morning, earning himself the Red Lantern Award after rookie Jenny Rodwig at the tail of the race scratched a few hours after Peterson crossed the finish line.
13 days, 13 hours, 40 minutes, and 18 seconds.
Ending the longest Iditarod race in distance to date, 1,128 miles.
It was a long time, I tell you what. I don't think I would have wanted to do one more run longer.
A victory this year that veteran musher Jesse Holmes brought home for the first time.
It's not about this moment now, it's about all those moments along the trail.
Moments.
Never expect that.
That tested these teams.
The Yukon River from Caltech to Eagle Island was pretty tough with frozen ice, and it was very challenging.
A new route sending a third of this year's competitors home, while also turning 7 rookies now into veterans, including Samantha Lalonde, who earned Rookie of the Year.
And my dogs, they were awesome, and they got me here.
And rookie Calvin Daughtry took home this year the Most Inspirational Musher Award, while the Iditarod also took the time to recognize Paige Dropney, as she was awarded the Leonhard Sapala Humanitarian Award for her outstanding dog care.
I'm super proud to be their person that helps them get down the trail.
With Holmes' lead champion dogs, Polar and Arctic, earning the City of Nome Lolly Medley Memorial Golden Harness Award.
The beautiful thing about them is how much they love and care for their whole pack.
Those awards just a snippet that recognizes the fiercefulness of these competitors through miles of Alaska wilderness. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
And coming up on tonight's Athlete of the Week, we take a deeper dive into the history made by Jesse Holmes during Iditarod.
Jordan Rodenberger recaps the story and shows what made it possible. And we know that the weather played, of course, a huge role in this year's Iditarod race, starting with moving it to Fairbanks.
That's right. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry joins us now. Melissa, how did the weather during this year's race compare to other years?
Well, we know weather is always a factor, right? And this year, no different. I mean, from no snow here in Anchorage, even the ceremonial start being shortened because of that lack of snow, and even going all the way to the interior into Fairbanks, it was a warm start with temperatures that Monday pushing to 40 degrees. We saw those teams getting down quickly to Nenana, but it was a warm start to the race, not even dropping below freezing overnight. We saw a lot of scenes of those dogs resting in the sun with temperatures well above freezing. But once those teams got out closer to the coast, that's when we started to see some more normal Iditarod conditions. Wind chill values dropping to around 20 below. Those wind speeds about 20 miles per hour, causing blowing snow in the area. And that's what teams pretty much encountered to the end of the race. We did see clear and dry conditions for Nome. So as those teams made their way in those final days, again, off from the ice into Nome, Temperatures at that point warm for Nome standards this time of year, but clear skies. The wind calmed down a bit and heading down Front Avenue right through that Burled Arch. We saw some pretty pleasant conditions from, again, Jesse Holmes pushing through all the way to the end with clear skies there in Nome. And we continue to hold on to those clear skies even this evening. Still seeing at 9 in Nome. Cooler as you head north. Kotzebue at 6 below. We're seeing those sub-zero temperatures on the slow. Mid-teens in the interior, mid-20s in Anchorage, actually below normal for a change. We're seeing snow in Kodiak, snow in Juneau, and more of that is going to push to the north. You can see that band of moisture pushing across Prince William Sound, beginning to spread through the Kenai Mountains up into Portage, and we're going to see that light snow pushing into Anchorage here in just a few hours. I expect it by 10 p.m. It's going to continue overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. About a half an inch to 2 inches is what I'm expecting. Now, most of that moisture, again, will still be east and south of the mountains, but we'll see some of those showers lingering a bit longer as you head into the northern Susitna Valley Tuesday afternoon, and then we'll see another chance for a few showers pushing through even on Wednesday as well. So again, overnight tonight, those temperatures drop into the mid-20s. We'll see that light snow likely here in the Anchorage Bowl as we have the past couple of days. That should taper off, though, pretty early in the day, and then we'll see those high temperatures warming back into those mid-30s. Again, still holding on to dry conditions across the interior. A few flurries possible in Fairbanks, mid-teens, but we'll continue to see that wintering mix in Juneau, and the sunshine holds for the western side of the state. I'll have a closer look at that full state forecast here in a few minutes.
And a reminder to download the Alaska's Weather Source weather app. If there's a change in the weather, we have you covered right at your fingertips. It's free to download for any mobile device.
Now, as people continue to prepare for the likely eruption of Mount Spur, local utility companies say they are monitoring the situation.
On social media, Chugach Electric reassured customers they are aware of that situation. And while ash could affect the power grid, they don't expect outages. Communications Manager Julie Haskett says they're closely watching developments, but can't predict how the situation will unfold. We've done extensive coverage on the things you can do now to prepare at home. All of that information is on our website. We'll continue to keep you updated here on Alaska's News Source. After building leases were canceled in February, 2 National Park Service locations in Fairbanks have had their leases reinstated.
On February 28th, 2 national park offices in Fairbanks were informed that the Government Services Administration planned to cancel the lease for these locations at the end of the year. Leaders at the Morris Thompson Cultural and Visitor Center challenged the action. They also worked with Senator Dan Sullivan to get the leases reinstated. Just last week, the GSA informed the Visitor Center and the Administrative Office on Geist Road that both locations would have their leases reinstated, but leaders at the Visitor Center say negotiations to renew the lease are left up in the air.
Now, we're not sure who we're going to be working with due to cuts at GSA, and depending on, due to the language in the existing executive orders regarding leasing and real estate, if there will be a desire to renew the lease for this facility, which is especially frustrating for us considering that a good portion of this building was built for the Public Lands Information Center to be able to do their work.
Now, she also says the reinstatement of the leases is not a firm situation and that the GSA may once again revoke the leases in the future. We reached out to the GSA, but we have not heard back. NPS declined to comment. Senator Sullivan's office says it will send us a transcript of an interview he did with the Fairbanks Daily News Miner.
Well, the beached fin whale that attracted thousands to West Anchorage mudflats in November has found a permanent home in Wasilla.
Now, what remains of it will be going to the Museum of Alaska Transportation and Industry in Wasilla. NOAA researchers have spent months taking samples from the whale. Now, museum staff hope that her presence will continue to spark conversations about other whales.
So she can continue to serve, even though she's passed, and let the kids see what these whales are, how big they actually are, what they can do, and just start really a conversation about these whales. And this is just a great way to jump into that.
The whale's journey to Wasilla will begin at the end of the month. Volunteers also begin to harvest the whale on the mudflats before transporting its skeleton to the museum for display. And we have a correction. We said this year's Iditarod was the longest race in distance.
Right. We were incorrect. There was another race that was longer, and we do apologize for that error. Well, still ahead, Special Olympic athletes return.
We're looking at how our hometown heroes are doing after the competing in this year's games.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Well, 2 new gold medalists return home to Anchorage today after competing in the Special Olympics World Winter Games.
USA! USA! USA!
Oh, you love to hear it and see it. Snowboarder Sulinet Vega Ledesma and skier Nathaniel Hunt touched down at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport this afternoon. The team, which also included Tegan Lockwood, brought home a combined 2 gold medals, a silver, and 3 bronze medals. Ledesma won her gold in advanced Super G, while Hunt won his in intermediate giant slalom. Tired after a week of competition and a long flight home, but very proud of their accomplishments.
It's awesome. I just like competing and, but mostly having fun with competing against other countries.
It was so much fun. So last day of being all together with other athletes, we switch out souvenirs. So I got one t-shirt from Australia and then one from Chile.
Very cool. Now, Lockwood has not arrived home yet. She's spending extra time in Italy after the close of the games.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for something to do this weekend and this Women's History Month, why not pick up a new book to read? I spoke with Sarah Prescott from the Anchorage Public Library today, where we discussed women's history books written by Alaska women authors. That list is on your screen to learn about these stories and more about Alaska's women's history. Check out our full interview on the Alaska's News Source app and our website.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's News Source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's News Source app.